Welcome to English Conversation Café. Learn English through natural conversations.
Motivation is your enemy.
I'm sorry. What?
I know how that sounds, but hear me out. Motivation is one of the main reasons people never get consistent. With anything, exercise, saving money, learning a language, it gets you started and then lets you down completely.
Max, that is one of the most backwards things I have ever heard. Motivation is the whole thing. It's why you do stuff. Without it, you're just a person lying on a sofa eating snacks.
Okay, fair. But think about the last time you were really fired up about something. You had the energy, the plan, you were ready.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. Last January, I watched a travel video about Barcelona and I thought, yes, I am learning Spanish. I signed up for a course that same evening. I already had an imaginary conversation with a waiter in my head.
And how did that go?
I did 4 lessons. 4. And then the motivation just evaporated. I opened the app one day and thought, maybe later. And later became never.
Because it wasn't a system, it was a feeling. And feelings, even strong ones, are not reliable. That initial rush has a shelf life. When it expires, if you haven't built anything underneath it, you have nothing.
You're back at 0, waiting for the feeling to come back.
Exactly, which it might, until it fades again, and you're stuck in that loop. So, if motivation is the enemy, what's the friend?
Yes, what actually works?
Discipline. Not the scary, rigid kind. The quiet, practical, almost boring kind. And that is what we're building today.
Welcome to English Conversation Café. I'm Haley.
And I'm Max. If you're new here, we're so glad you found us. This podcast is all about helping you improve your English by listening to real, natural conversations. Not a textbook, just 2 people talking, like this.
And today, we're talking about self-discipline and how to actually stay consistent. Not just with English, but with anything in your life. If you've ever started something with loads of enthusiasm and then quietly stopped, this episode is made for you.
By the end, you'll have real, practical strategies you can use today. And you'll pick up some great everyday English expressions. We go through all of them at the end in our Cafe Rewind, so stay with us.
And if you're enjoying the cafe, please hit subscribe. It's free, it helps us grow, and you'll never miss an episode. Okay, Max, let's get into it.
I want to start with one distinction that changes everything once you really understand it. Motivation is a feeling. Discipline is a system. Most people treat them as the same thing, and that's where everything breaks down.
Say more about that.
A few years ago, I was serious about improving my French. My father is French, so it was personal. I wanted to actually speak it with him properly. And I was so motivated at the start. 30 minutes every morning, French radio at lunch, films on weekends. Beautiful plan.
That sounds like a great plan, honestly.
It lasted 2 weeks. Because it was built on a feeling, that first burst of excitement. The moment it faded, I had nothing to fall back on. Just me, every morning, trying to manually generate motivation to open a textbook.
This is my entire life, Max. Every hobby I have ever had. I get obsessed, go completely all in. I watch every YouTube video, I buy the equipment.
The equipment. Tell me about the equipment.
I have a yoga mat, a ukulele, a full calligraphy set, proper ink and nibs and everything. And I want to be very clear this is a true story. A bread maker, all collecting dust. Each one was going to change my life.
The Haley Equipment Graveyard. And if you're learning English, you've probably felt this too. That first day you discover a new podcast or app and think, this is it. This is what'll work.
And you use it every day for a week, and then every other day. And then it's been 3 weeks and you haven't opened it.
Exactly. The enthusiasm was real. The system just wasn't there.
And the frustrating thing is, the information was never the problem. Nobody needs to be told they should practice English every day. Everyone knows that. Easier said than done, right?
Exactly. The hard part is doing it on a Wednesday evening when you're tired and there is an extremely good show waiting for you.
Maybe tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow. The two most dangerous words for any habit.
I have said those words so many times. And then tomorrow becomes next week, and next week becomes not happening.
And the cruel thing is, you still wanted to do it. You hadn't stopped caring. You just had no system to carry you when the feeling wasn't there.
Right. Motivation got you to the starting line and then just left, waved goodbye.
Exactly. So what are we actually building today?
Yes, because I want the fix.
We're building the architecture underneath the plan. The things that make you actually do it, automatically, even when you have zero desire to. And if you've listened to our episode about the 1% rule, this is different. That was about the what. This is the engine that keeps the what running.
Because you can have the best plan in the world and still not stick to it. The plan isn't the problem. The sticking is the problem.
Exactly. Let's fix the sticking.
Okay, first real strategy. Go.
Willpower is not unlimited. It's more like a battery, and it drains throughout the day.
That's a real scientific thing?
It's called decision fatigue. Every decision you make, even small ones, what to wear, whether to reply to that email now or later, uses up mental energy. Hundreds of micro decisions every day.
And by evening, the tank is empty.
Exactly. So if you're trying to study English at 11 p.m. after a full day of work and decisions, you're asking a nearly empty battery to do the hardest thing.
Oh no, this explains so much about me. I cannot make a good decision after 7 p.m. I will order the worst takeaway. I will start a TV series I know I won't enjoy and watch 3 episodes anyway.
So protect your best hours. Do your English practice when your battery is full. For most people, that's the morning. For others, it might be lunch or right after work. The exact time doesn't matter. Just use your sharpest window deliberately.
This completely reframes the I'll do it later thing for me. Future Haley is not some more disciplined superhero version of me. She's just tired me.
Future you has the same battery, probably more depleted. Stop planning for a version of yourself that doesn't exist.
Design for the version that does. I love that. Okay, second strategy.
Your environment. This is where people are quietly being sabotaged without realizing it. Our surroundings shape our behavior far more than willpower does. Think of it as proactive versus reactive self-control.
Explain those.
Reactive is exhausting. Your phone is right there, and you have to resist picking it up every few minutes. You're fighting temptation in real time, and that drains you.
And proactive?
Proactive is when you arrange things before the moment of temptation, so the temptation barely shows up. You put your phone in another room before you sit down. You've already won before the battle started.
It's like, if you're trying to eat less sugar, the smart move isn't to stare at the biscuit tin and resist. It's to not have the biscuit tin in the house.
Exactly. Remove the friction before the moment, not during it. For English learners, make the English choice the easy choice. Put your podcast app on your home screen. Set your phone language to English. Make it so that doing a little English is the path of least resistance.
I changed my phone to English once, and it was uncomfortable for a few days. I couldn't find things immediately. But after a week, it felt normal, and I realized I'd been passively reading English all day just by using my phone, without ever consciously studying.
That passive exposure is really powerful. Your brain is absorbing patterns and vocabulary even when you're not trying. You're turning your daily environment into a teacher.
And the beautiful thing is, it doesn't feel like studying. It just feels like using your phone.
Exactly. Okay, third strategy, my favorite. It's called if-then planning.
If-then planning. That sounds like a computer programming course.
A little bit, but it's simple. Instead of a vague commitment, I will practice English every day. You create a precise personal rule. When this happens, I will do that.
Like an example?
When I make my morning coffee, I will listen to 10 minutes of an English podcast. Or, when I get on the bus, I will open my vocabulary app. You attach the new habit to something you already do automatically.
Oh, so you're not creating a new slot in your day, you're borrowing a slot that already exists.
Exactly. Some people call it habit stacking. You make the decision in advance, when you're calm, not in the moment when you're tired.
So there's no should I or shouldn't I in the moment. The choice is already made.
Right. The trigger happens, the kettle boils, and your brain already has its instruction. That's how you actually stick to a routine, not through willpower, but through design.
Okay, I'm genuinely going to use this. What would be a good trigger for someone who doesn't take the bus and doesn't drink coffee?
Any automatic daily action works. Getting into bed, sitting down for lunch, putting on your shoes before a walk. The habit just needs to attach to something that already happens without you thinking about it.
I'm thinking about this right now. I make tea every single afternoon, 3 o'clock, like clockwork.
There it is. That's your trigger.
Tea time is English time. I'm saying that on air. Everyone heard it. I'm committed.
You cannot go back now. There are witnesses. Okay, let's bust some myths. Common beliefs about discipline that are actually wrong, and wrong in ways that make it harder for people to stay consistent. I'll say the myth. You give me your honest gut reaction. Then I'll tell you what the science says.
Yes, I'm going to be completely honest. Go.
Myth 1. Disciplined people just have more willpower. They're built differently. Some people have it, some don't.
True, 100%. I have friends who wake up at 6 a.m., go for a run in the rain, and they are smiling about it. We are clearly running on different software.
Wrong.
What?
The most disciplined people don't rely on willpower more. They rely on it less. They've designed their lives so temptation rarely shows up. The habits are automatic. The decisions are already made. The willpower muscle never gets called on because the system does the work.
So being disciplined is actually about not needing to be disciplined in the moment?
Basically, yes. The goal is to need willpower as rarely as possible.
That makes me feel so much better about myself, honestly. I don't think I lack willpower. I just haven't built the right structures. Okay, next myth.
Myth 2. You need to feel ready before you start. Wait until things calm down, until you feel more organized, until the new month.
Oh, this one. I live by this one. I'm always waiting for the perfect Monday. I'll start properly when this busy period at work is over, or after the holidays, or when I've found the right app. There's always a reason why now isn't quite the right moment.
Here's what actually happens. Motivation doesn't come before action. It comes after. You do the thing, even when you don't feel like it, and then the feeling arrives. Action first. Motivation follows.
That's kind of annoying to hear, because it means there's no waiting. You just have to start.
You do, even badly, even for 5 minutes. The resistance drops the moment you begin, but it only arrives on the other side of starting. You can't get it from the sofa.
You can't get it from the sofa. That is the quote of the episode. Okay, last myth.
Myth 3. Missing one day ruins your habit. If you break the streak, it's over.
Oh, I feel very attacked because this is exactly what I do. The moment I miss a day, I think, that's done. The whole thing is ruined. May as well give up.
And that thinking kills more habits than laziness ever does. Missing one day has almost no effect on long-term habit formation. One day is noise. What matters is what you do next.
So what's the rule?
Never miss twice. Missing once is human. Life happens. You get sick. You're tired. Fine. But don't let it become 2 days. Because 2 days starts to feel like a pattern, and patterns become how you think about yourself.
Never miss twice is so much more manageable than never miss ever. That I can actually do. That feels human.
That's the point. It gives you permission to be imperfect, which is the only realistic standard anyway.
I want to talk about something connected to all of this. Who you think you are. Because I catch myself saying things like, I'm just not a disciplined person, or consistency isn't really my thing. Like it's just a fact about me.
Yes, and this is one of the most powerful ideas in all of this. Identity-based discipline. There's a massive difference between what you do and who you are.
Say more.
Most people approach habits from the outcome end. I want to be fluent, so I need to practice every day. The goal is the focus. But there's a deeper level.
What's the deeper level?
Instead of thinking about what you want to achieve, you think about who you are. I am someone who practices English every day. Not, I'm trying to, I am. It's a statement of identity, not intention.
That genuinely feels different. I'm trying to get fit versus I'm someone who exercises. One sounds like a struggle. The other sounds like just a fact.
And when it's part of your identity, you don't need to motivate yourself. You do it because it's who you are. The same way you don't motivate yourself to brush your teeth. You just do it.
So every time I sit down and practice English, even for a few minutes, I'm building evidence for this identity. I'm proving to myself that I'm that person.
Every action is a vote. You don't need a landslide on day one. You just keep casting votes in the same direction. Over time, the identity solidifies. You stop having to convince yourself.
I've always told myself I'm bad at consistency, but what I'm hearing is I built that identity with years of quitting things, and I can build a different one.
You absolutely can. It starts with tiny actions. Show up once, then again, then again. Slowly, it stops feeling like something you're trying to do and becomes something you just do.
That's kind of a wild thought, that every tiny action is actually changing who you are, not just what you do.
It's cumulative, and the identity reinforces itself. The more you show up, the more I'm an English learner feels true. And the more it feels true, the easier it is to show up.
A positive loop instead of a negative one. Instead of, I always quit, becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy, I always show up becomes one. And even listening to this podcast today, that's a vote for the identity, right?
That's a vote. You showed up. Don't dismiss it.
Okay. I also want to talk about what happens when you're hard on yourself after falling off the wagon. Because for me, the self-criticism gets pretty brutal.
This surprised me when I first read the research. Being harsh on yourself after a setback actually makes you less likely to try again, not more. The self-criticism doesn't motivate you. It demoralizes you.
So the whole tough love, no excuses mentality, that actually backfires?
In most cases, yes. Self-compassion, treating yourself the way you'd treat a good friend, leads to better long-term outcomes. If a friend fell off their routine, you wouldn't say, "You always give up." You'd say, "Things got busy. It happens. How do we get back on track?"
I am so much kinder to my friends than I am to myself. That's a bit of a sad realization.
Most people are. And the people who are gentlest with themselves when they fail are the ones who keep going. The ones who treat every setback like a crisis tend to quit. Because quitting is the only way to escape the shame.
So if you remove the shame,
You remove the need to quit. Exactly.
so get back on track quietly. Don't make it a whole thing. Just pick it back up.
Never miss twice. No drama, no guilt. Just show up again. In the long run, it's the people who are reliable to themselves, not perfect, but reliable, who get to where they want to go.
Reliable to yourself. Not perfect, just reliable. That's the most useful thing you've said today.
That's the whole game. Before the cafe rewind, we want to ask you something, and we genuinely want to know the answer.
What is one English habit you've been trying to build but keep stopping? Listening to a podcast, practicing vocabulary, writing a few sentences, whatever it is. Drop it in the comments right now while it's in your head.
Writing it down, saying it out loud, that's actually a real commitment device. It makes the goal more concrete and increases the chance you follow through. So use the comments. That's what they're there for.
Okay, cafe rewind time. Let's bring back the best expressions from today so you can actually use them yourself. 8 great ones. Max, kick us off.
Number 1, keep at it. This means to continue doing something even when it's difficult or slow. Learning English takes time, but if you keep at it, you will absolutely get there.
Number 2, fall off the wagon. An idiom that means to stop doing something you had committed to, usually a good habit. I was studying every evening, but I fell off the wagon when work got busy.
Number 3, get back on track. To return to the right path after a setback. It's what you do after falling off the wagon. I missed a whole week, but I'm getting back on track now. These two go naturally together.
Number 4, stick to a routine. To stick to something means to keep doing it consistently. The key to improving your English is to stick to a routine, even short sessions, even on busy days.
Number 5, easier said than done. Something sounds simple, but doing it in real life is much harder. You should practice English every day, but easier said than done, right?
Number 6, in the long run. Over a long period of time, the big picture. Missing one day is fine. In the long run, what matters is that you keep showing up.
Number 7, set yourself up for success. To prepare in advance so success becomes more likely. Put your study app on your home screen. Remove the distractions. Set yourself up for success before the moment arrives.
And number 8, show up. To be present and do what you committed to, even imperfectly, even when you don't feel like it. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to show up.
All right, one takeaway from today. You don't need to wait for motivation. You need a system. Design your environment. Make a specific if-then plan. Protect your best hours. And when you miss a day, never miss twice.
And think about the identity piece. Not just what you want to do, but who you want to be. Say it. I am someone who practices English every day. Build the evidence, one small action at a time.
Haley, tea time is English time. I have written this down. I will be asking you about it.
I knew that was coming. Yes, tea time is English time. I said it on a podcast. There is no going back. Everyone listening right now is my accountability partner.
We love that. Thank you so much for spending this time with us at the English Conversation Café. It really does mean a lot.
And if this episode was useful, or you just enjoyed hanging out with us, please subscribe. It's the best thing you can do to support the show. We are here every week, and we would love for you to be part of it.
We'll see you at the cafe. Keep at it. And don't forget to show up, even on the hard days.
And make your tea.
Thank you for listening. We hope today's conversation helped you understand real English better. Subscribe and join us for the next episode.